one is not from one of our cookbooks. We found it just on Pinterest. When we recently went to Disneyland, I was actually pretty upset that I never got the Jack Jack cookie Num Noms from Pixar Pier. I just totally forgot about it and came home and was like, oh my god, that was like one of the things at the top of my list. Good thing.
They look so good.
There are bloggers out there who copycat recipes. So that's what we're going to make today. So if you don't really know what they are, it's just kind of like a deep dish chocolate chip cookie. When you get them in Pixar Pier, they're bigger. They're like about that big and they're thick. But we don't have like those cookie liners.
They're probably as big as like one of these.
Yeah, it's like definitely like a big shareable cookie. But we're just going to do it in the muffin tin with cupcake liners because that's what they did in this recipe. And I guess we'll get started.
Yeah.
All right, so first, if you see me on my phone, it's because I'm just following this recipe. So I will link this blog to our video. So if you want to make them, you can make them. So it says to cream together the butter and sugar. So we're doing a cup of butter softened. And it's a mixture of white and brown sugar, which I think that's standard for chocolate chip cookies, right?
Yeah,
white
you always have the brown sugar because it gives it that like molasses, that like deep, rich flavor.
Yeah. All right,
if not, it's
so
kind of just like a normal
do you
cookie.
have the sugar measured out?
No, I have the brown sugar. It was 1.5 cups.
Brown sugar is 1.5 cups. These are gonna be so good.
Oh. Definitely not keto.
It is not. Just for reference, it's Easter weekend right now, so we're not planning on eating keto this weekend, which is why these are getting made. And then it's 1/2 cup of white.
Just a half?
Yep. We're doing, some cheat recipes this weekend just because it's a holiday weekend.
And something I think is a little funny, because we are on keto, this is all the sugar that we own.
Yeah, regular white sugar.
It's all been left over from baking Christmas cookies around Christmas time.
All right, I think we're done with those, right? So we're going to cream together the sugar and butter. Lou is currently watching The Incredibles out there just to get into the spirit of the cookies.
They can't see you down there, Lou.
You got to stand here. What movie are you watching? Incredibles.
You gotta speak up, baby.
Incredible.
All right, so after you cream together the butter and the sugars, it says to add the eggs and vanilla in, but to add the eggs one at a time, mixing in between.
Okay. And of course we are using our all-natural organic eggs from Summer Sweet Native Plants.
Yep.
Just down the street from us.
It's my brother's plant nursery. All right, so it calls for 3 cups of all-purpose flour. This is a huge bag that we've had, I think, since Christmas. It was never even open because we didn't make that many cookies. So we're gonna put 3 cups. What, Lou? No, go sit down. That's enough. So we're just putting it in our little sifter here with our trusty green bowl, and that's going to be all the dry. So the flour, the salt, and the baking soda. We pre-measured our salt and baking soda.
3 whole cups, right?
3 whole cups. Seems like a lot, but I guess because this says it means 18 cookies and they're thick. So I mean, if you were just doing regular sizes, who knows how many it would make? A lot. 3 cups of flour.
Yeah. I think most recipes are.
You put the baking soda in there too?
All in there with the flour.
Alright. So then it just says to add the dry to the butter mixture and beat until incorporated.
Okay.
Alright, so we're going to be adding our dry to the other mixture a little bit at a time. Alright, so the dough is all mixed up. Now just keep in mind that our chocolate measurements are going to be slightly off because it calls for the mini chocolate chips and then chocolate chunks. But when Steve went to the store, like right now things are crazy, so he couldn't find chocolate chunks. So he got like baker's chocolate and we chunked it up, but it's not enough for like the actual chunk measurement. So originally it says to do 2 cups of the chunks and 1/2 cup of the minis, and you're supposed to reserve 1/2 cup of the chunks to put on top. But we have less chunks, so we're going for like more minis.
Right.
But I think the
We're
point of
basically
that.
just switching the measurements.
Yeah.
We're doing 2 cups of the minis and a half a cup of the chunks.
I think the point of that is so that there's a lot of like just big chocolate pieces within the cookie.
Well, all those mini chips, there's going to be a lot of chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, like bigger chunks.
Yeah,
I think
big
that's why
chunks.
it's supposed to be like that. But so we're gonna incorporate our chocolate into our dough, and then we have these chunks over here are reserved because once we put them in the liners, you're supposed to put like 3 to 4 chunks on top, so that there's like a lot of chocolate on top. So it says to stir in, of course, 1.5 cups of the chunks and a cup of the minis, but that's all of our
Yeah,
dough
all our chocolate.
stuff measured.
So we can hit it.
All right, so it says just to stir them in. So pour and stir. I'm like so excited for these. Like the idea of a deep dish chocolate chip cookie just sounds amazing. All right, so our chocolate chunks are on. So now they go in for 12 to 15 minutes on 350. We will let you know if that varies. I feel like it's not a very long time because I think like normal chocolate chip cookies get baked at that, but it might be for a reason. So it stays nice and gooey in the middle. All right, so we set it for 12. It just went off. We put a toothpick in, and surprisingly, the toothpick came out clean. So it says to let them sit for 5 minutes in the muffin tin and then transfer them to a wire rack to finish cooling.